Alright guys, so let's get this going on. It's a little bit later than I would like to. I was supposed to get this out yesterday, but for now I'm going to have to do this now. And today we're going to be doing our weekly predictions. And yeah, this is coming out on Thursday the 13th. So starting with tonight's game, we have the Commanders traveling to Chicago and taking on the Bears. I don't like either of these teams to win. We have no good football games happening on Thursday night anyways, so we just have to make do with it. And the Commanders, I think, are easily one of the worst teams in the NFL right now, as well as the Bears. Both of these teams are just not very good. I believe that Justin Fields' development was a little bit impacted by having Matt Nagy as a coach last season. And the defense, while it is still pretty good, with the loss of Khalil Mack, it is overall just not doing very good. I'm going to go with the Bears just because I think that there is a lot of home field advantage factors that could take into account here, and I think that the Bears are going to be able to come through with a win. Moving into our next game, we have the 49ers traveling down to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. 49ers last week, they suffered a lot of injuries, but I think their defense is still going to be very good. That being said, though, they did pummel on the Panthers, and it was just absolutely abysmal. The Falcons, on the other hand, did not win. They had an opportunity to come back and were victims of absolute ref ball. Completely unfortunate, and I feel like that as much as I want the Falcons to win, because Marcus Mariota is playing at a decent level, just good enough to where the team can function, I think that I'm going to go with the 49ers here. Their defense is just way too good, even though they did have all the injuries. I just still trust it way too much. Moving on to our next game, we have the Patriots taking on the Browns, and the Browns are having a decent time, Last week they almost beat the Chargers, who are one of the best teams in the NFL, in my opinion. And the Patriots shut out the Lions last week, who are one of the best offenses in the league. Overall, I think that the Browns and the Patriots will have a very good offensive showdown. I think the defenses are also very good for both these teams, but I'm going to go with the slight edge over the Patriots just because I feel like they're going to be ready for the run game, which then is going to make their secondary ready for the Browns to play, or to throw the ball, and because of that, I feel like I just have to give the slight edge to the Patriots here to win. Flying into our next game, we have a team that got absolutely upset in London last week, and in the Green Bay Packers, while a team that nobody expected to win last week flies in and comes to Lambeau in the New Jersey Jets. The New Jersey Jets took down the Dolphins 40-17 last week, absolutely destroyed them. Didn't even give the Dolphins an opportunity to come up for air. Just choked them majorly. The Packers, on the other hand, choked out in the second half of football. I think that the Packers should win this game, but Zach Wilson is playing at a very good level, and I think that he could play very well. But I'm going to go with the Packers here. I just feel like the Packers are a better overall team than the Jets, and if they don't win here, there's going to be problems for the Packers. Clawing into our next game, we have the Bengals taking on the Saints. And the Saints last week looked really good under Andy Dalton. Which is kind of shocking to some people because Andy Dalton was not a very good quarterback lately. He's just getting old, and I feel like while he does have room to play well still, he just is coming to the end of his career. The Bengals, on the other hand, were completely incompetent against the Ravens last week. Absolutely abysmal game. The Ravens defense managed to put the Bengals in a chokehold. They tried a Philly special and lost 13 yards. And yeah, the Bengals, who were in the Super Bowl last year, are not looking very good this year. I'm going to go with the Saints. I think that the Saints' defense is a little bit better than the Bengals, and their defense is going to absolutely eat up that offensive line. That being said, though, this could be a very, very good game and a very close game. Calling into our next game, we have the Ravens taking on the Giants. The Giants are probably one of the most shocking 4-1 teams ever. Nobody expected this team to be as good as they are, but hey, here they are, 4-1. And the Ravens, who, with the leg of Justin Tucker, managed to win the game against their division rival, the Bengals, last week. I think I'm going to go with the Ravens here. I think that the Giants, while they are a decent team and could be seen as a contender here, I think that the Ravens are just better overall. They have Mark Andrews and Devin Duvernay and Lamar Jackson and J.K. Dobbins. And I just feel like their high-flying offense is going to be way too much for the defense of the Giants to stop. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. Moving into our next game, we have the Vikings flying in to take down a beat-up, injured Miami Dolphins team. The Miami Dolphins are sadly a destroyed, distraught team, and as much as I would like for them to win and continue to climb up into the rankings, I'm going to have to go with the Vikings. The Vikings are somehow 4-1, and while that is kind of shocking this year, considering I wasn't expecting them to be nearly as much of contenders as they are, I think the Dolphins are just losing out because they don't have a quarterback. They're starting another rookie in Skylar Thompson next week, and I was very impressed with him overall against the Jets. I think that he had made some rookie mistakes, but overall he has room for improvement, and that's what I want to look for in a quarterback. And yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings here. Flying into our next game, we have a division rivalry of the AFC South between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. The Jacksonville Jaguars lost to the Texans, giving them the first win, or their first win of the season, and the Colts barely beat the Broncos, who both teams look bad. Yeah, I don't want to watch this game or even think about it. I'm going to go with the Colts. Matt Ryan is looking terrible, but the Jaguars did already beat the Colts earlier this year, and I think that this is going to be their revenge game. They're going to be looking for some sort of revenge against the Jags, whatever that may be. And this is, unfortunately, I'm going to have to give the Colts a win here. Moving on to our next game, we have a game that I am very disappointed in. We have the Buccaneers taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think that the Buccaneers will blow out the Steelers like the Bills did last week. But they're not playing good. The Buccaneers are playing bad, and so are the Steelers. The Steelers are playing bad, people think, because of Mike Tomlin, which is just insane. They're just playing bad because the offensive play call is horrible, so then because the offense can't do anything, the defense can't do anything because they're tired. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers still, though. I think that the Buccaneers overall are just a better team, and unless some sort of miracle happens here and the Steelers impress me, I'm not going to pick them for right now, unfortunately. Moving into our next game and screaming tears of joy, we have the Panthers taking on the Rams. The Panthers fired Matt Rule finally after going like 5-25 or something like that. Absolutely awful head coach. And the Rams, who got embarrassed by the Cowboys. I said that the Rams needed a bounce back game last week, and I thought it would be against the Cowboys. I was wrong. The Rams are easily going to destroy the Panthers here, unless something crazy happens. And then out of nowhere, the Panthers just decide to make a playoff run. But for now, I'm going to go with the Rams, and if the Rams keep losing, I'm going to be very disappointed and have to do a lot of thinking. Moving on to our next game, we have a battle of the birds between the Cardinals and the Seahawks. I think that this game is going to be a little bit more shocking for some people than they're acting like. We have the Cardinals, who look pretty bad against the Eagles, taking on the Seahawks, who looked really good against the Saints. I'm going to go with a little bit of a shocker here. In the Pick'em League, majority of the people pick the Cardinals. I'm actually going to go with the Seahawks here. It's being played in Seattle, so I feel like that's going to be a hostile territory. And overall, I think the Seahawks just could sneak out a game here. Then we have my favorite game of the week that I'm so sad I can't watch. I want to watch it so bad. But we have the Bills taking on the Chiefs. This game is going to be phenomenal. We have the best defense in the league and one of the best offenses in the league taking on one of the best offenses in the league and a really, really good defense in the Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Bills. Josh Allen is just playing too good right now. And I think that the Chiefs, while they are one of the better teams in the NFL, and it is being played in Arrowhead, are going to be upset here. And it's going to be kind of sad if you're a Chiefs fan, but I'm going to go with the Bills. Moving on to our Sunday night game, we have the Cowboys taking on the Eagles. The Cowboys, again, I will admit it, I was wrong about their defense. Their defense is one of the best in the league, taking on the high-flying offense of the Philadelphia Eagles, who just look amazing. Jalen Hurts didn't really look too good in the passing game last week, but that run game is almost unstoppable. Nobody can stop that run game, and it's absolutely amazing that nobody can stop it. I'm going to go with the Eagles purely because of home field advantage, but if the Cowboys win this game, I feel like that we have to start acting like the Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders if that happens. I think that Cooper Rush will do enough, or enough on offense, but I don't think that defense is going to be able to stop the Philadelphia Eagles offense. And then finally, we have one of my least favorite games on the schedule. I don't know why they didn't move the Bills and Chiefs game to Sunday night or Monday night and have this game, or it's a 125 spot instead, but we have the Broncos taking on the Chargers. The Broncos have played some of the worst football I have seen in my entire life. It is so bad recently. I don't know if it's because of Nathaniel Hackett's play call or if Russ is just cooked or a mixture of both, but it is just bad. And then the Chargers, on the other hand, have been playing very, very good. They snuck off a win against the Browns last week, which was a very risky maneuver. And yeah, their defense is very good. Their offense is also really good. So I'm going to go with the Chargers, but I think the Broncos might also be able to be competitive in this game, hopefully. And if the Broncos lose this game, I think we're going to be needing to look at some other things. Overall, this is going to be what my picks for this week. We have quite a few picks. Looking at games where I think I could be worried a little bit. I have the Pats game is a little worrisome, the Saints game, and pretty much the divisional games here. But overall, it's going to be everything for me. Take it easy.